Apple's highly anticipated iPhone 13 officially hitting the shelves today. Shares underperforming the NASDAQ this year, though. So could this be a much-needed catalyst for the stock? Let's bring in Colin Gillis from Chatham Road Partners. He has a buy rating, $165 year-end price target on the stock. And I understand a haiku that talks to us about the Apple iPhone. Thank you for joining us, Colin. So what do you make of the demand that we can tell so far for this new iPhone 13?
You know, imagine being able to ship every single new phone that you've made the day before your fiscal quarter and fiscal year ends, right? That's got to be nice. We're talking billions of dollars flowing in onto the revenue, right, for the September quarter. Basically, they've sold every single iPhone 13 that they can make. And so demand is still there.
Are they going to be able to make enough iPhone 13s to match the demand with everything that we've heard about and continue to talk about with both the supply chain congestion and what's going on for chips?
Yeah, right. And so, you know, definitely when we are cognizant of what everyone is saying about supply chain. But if there's one thing that Tim Cook is good at, right, he is a fantastic operations manager. And you got to remember that the iPhone chips tend to be more of the premium chips. And those are the chips that the suppliers want to make because that's where their profit is going to be. So I look for, you know, just like we saw in the June quarter, they were able to mitigate some of the chip issues and the supply chain issues. I expect the same thing. Tim Cook may not be the best CEO, but he is a fantastic operations officer. And so, you know, look for Apple to be able to, again, be able to meet their demand. I think the reason the phone is sold out is not because of supply, but because of demand.
I mean, maybe operations is his biggest strength, but I think he's pretty good all round, Colin. I don't think you can question the job he's done, which I know you're not really doing anyway. I wanted to ask about Apple TV Plus, and we've seen some pressures in subscription numbers elsewhere over the last couple of quarters, Netflix and some guide from Disney Plus. Do you think that's because Apple Plus is gaining market share, or the entire market might be seeing some pressure there?
I think the entire market is seeing pressure there, Wilfred. And, you know, again, Tim Cook has done a fantastic job done a good job as a CEO. I just want to raise that his true core excellence is in operations. And so we can have faith in him in that regard. So regarding subscription content, Apple's really nowhere to be found there. But again, it's not material to the company. You know, this is still very much the iPhone company, right? You know, even though iPads and wearables and services are a huge component, it's going to be, you know, $41 billion in iPhone revenue. We're going to see iPhone revenue up, you know, close to 55% year over year. You know, close to maybe 50 million iPhones shipped in the September quarter. So these are the numbers that will move the needle on the stock and either get it to lift or to drop.
Colin, I don't want to diminish, of course, any innovation that this company comes out with because, of course, they just continue to impress. But it seems as if every iteration of the iPhone has a new component or a new capability, but maybe it's not as big of a leap as it once was. Does the iPhone 13 have enough sort of fancy bling to convince someone to buy a new one, to do the upgrade?
So the iPhone 13 has that perfect mix of being able to have the same form factor as the 12. It really is what we would call an S model, where it's just a small iteration involvement, but that's going to allow the company to expand gross margins. And I think the key point here is that 5G demand is going to continue to be a consumer demand, as well as the fact iPhone is fashion. You just want to be seen with the new form factor as you emerge from the post-COVID world. You don't want to be stuck, you know, being seen with an older iPhone. And so look for the demand cycle to continue throughout the rest of this year.